Center, single back is Gibbs. Goff turn, gives it to Jameer, to the end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions. That's the way you make a statement on the road on Monday night to start a football game, straight down the field to the end zone. It is 2nd and goal from the 1. Goff out of the gun, hands it to Montgomery, tries the left side, did not get in. It's going to be 3rd and goal from inside the 1. They say he did get in. Late call. There it is. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Better late than never. Out of the gun. Jackson's got it. Running to his right. Wants to throw. Now being pressured. Ball's loose on the ground. It is recovered by Jackson, but it does not matter. That's Lions football. A 4th down stop by this team. Jackson tried to roll out, had a run-pass option, and Jack Campbell was there to knock that ball loose. That is a big-time stop by that defense. Lions show 4 across the front. There's the snap. Jackson back, looking right. Pressure comes. Jackson still looking. Stepping up. Gonna get hit. Gonna go down. Al-Quadin Mohammed got him. Goff out of the gun. Montgomery to his right. Jared's got it back and looking, throwing right side. Wants Amon-Ra. End zone. Got it. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. What a delivery that time by Goff, where only Amon-Ra with those late hands could pull it in. And the Lions are an extra point away from drawing even once again here in Baltimore. Jackson fakes the give to Henry, wants to throw, steps up, gonna get hit, gonna get spun down again. That's another sack by that Lions defense. That is Al-Quadin Mohammed for the 2nd time tonight. 96, that is big, man. Goff up under center, turns, gives, Amon-Ra flips it out to Gibbs. He's in the house, baby. Touchdown, Detroit.
Yeah, 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Hey, can y'all hear me out there? Hey. Against all odds. 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 Against all odds.
The podcast.
Shout out to Rockhound Detroit Lions, man. My pride.
Rise and Grind Morning Show is the best podcast in the world. I'm Meek Robinson.
All right, good morning. It is Thursday, and welcome into the Rise and Grind Morning Show. I'm Will Rock. I'll be joined by Eric Wintemaki this morning. Big shoe dropped yesterday. Aidan Hutchinson locked up for the foreseeable future, at least through 2030. We're going to talk about that and the latest trade rumor that's not happening. We'll discuss all that. We got a full boat today. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about with Aidan, and we do have some more contract details today that we're going to get into. But plenty of things, man. Power rankings and quarterback rankings, other rankings for your Detroit Lions players ahead of the Vikings week. And if I'm lucky enough, I think that Paul Farrington is going to try to join us around 9:15, 9:30 today. And we'll get a Vikings take today on what he thinks the Detroit Lions are going to do this weekend. We'll find out. All right, we'll be right back here in about 60 seconds.
Center, single back is Gibbs. Goff turn, gives it to Jameer, to the end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions. That's the way you make a statement on the road on Monday night to start a football game, straight down the field to the end zone. It is 2nd and goal from the 1. Goff out of the gun, hands it to Montgomery, tries the left side, did not get in. It's going to be 3rd and goal from inside the 1. They say he did get in. Late call. There it is.
Pressured by Hutchinson. He goes down again.
All right, good morning, and welcome into the Rise and Grind Morning Show. The volume was a little bit off, so we had to do a complete reset real quick. Hope everyone's doing great on this Thursday morning. Going to get into the power rankings today. Aidan Hutchinson contract, quarterback rankings, potentially we'll have Paul Farrington on from the Paul Farrington Show around 9-ish, 9:15, 9:30, somewhere in that range. I think he's going to bless us with about 15, 20 minutes of his takes. I had a moment to take a listen to his podcast this morning that released around 6 a.m. If you have not checked out the Paul Farrington Show, it is one of the best shows out there. Love what those guys do. They cover all the different teams in the league. Big Viking fans over there, but great people, man. Great people, the Paul Farrington Show. Make sure you guys check them out and subscribe to their channel if you would, please. On the books today, big news. Aidan Hutchinson signs a monster deal, 180. Wasn't the highest deal in the league. Thank goodness the Lions were able to secure him at a much lower rate. The guarantee, however, was the highest in the league. And we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more today. We'll see if we can get through the majority of our topics, but as we know each and every day, that doesn't happen. Good morning, Eric. What's happening?
Good morning. Man, what a fun 24 hours it's been in the NFL. The whole Aidan Hutchinson gets signed when people didn't think he was going to get signed, and he did. And I think it came at the right time because he has proven now through 8 games that he's healed. He's going to be the same player he was before the injury, and I think that's what took so long. Now, it may have end up costing the Lions a little bit more than it should have, because I think if his leg wouldn't have broken last year, that this would have gotten done in the offseason.
What had it have been done last year? Had it have been done last year,
30.
I think the money would have been a lot less.
Yes, you're looking at 30, 35 if you did it last year. And he could have set the bar, and it wouldn't be this 45 number. But it's the way things are going, and because of Myles Garrett and because of Micah Parsons' deals, that's what this deal just had to be.
Yeah, and thankfully, and I'm going to touch on that in just 1 second. Let me send Paul a link real quick.
Mm-hmm. But me as a Lions fan, I loved it. This was exciting to hear. It was fun to see. It was nice seeing that all the national media and all the attention was on the Detroit Lions yesterday for a day. And social media went nuts yesterday. So later on, I'm going to have a few questions from social media. And if anyone in the chat has any questions about the Aidan contract, please put them in the chat and I'll try to get to a few of them.
All right. Link is sent. Hopefully we get Paul in this morning. He's been really, really busy. So if he carves out 15 minutes, that'd be great. If he can't, he can't. But if he can, he can. So let's just jump right in and talk about Aidan. Yeah, my video flopped. I mean, I got that thing out in like 9 minutes. It did absolutely nothing. It's kind of funny how you go from 80,000, 60,000 views on videos to 900. And you know what it is? I'm lazy, I guess. I just don't do enough on this channel. That's the problem. I don't stay relevant enough to keep stuff going. But again, I think that speaks to the new channel that's coming out, which you should be able to subscribe to it here in about 48 hours. I got to do a couple of things with it today, and then it'll be available to subscribe to. And you're going to see NFL conspiracies, all sorts of things. Look at Aidan, he's dancing. All sorts of things going on that channel. That'll be more fun, engaging conversations. I think talking about the league from a different light. There was another video that popped out yesterday that has already painted a light on the NFL. Not to get too distracting here, that there's some players. One was a Pro Bowl running back and Pro Bowl defensive player that were on camera allegedly taking bribes from the Italian mafia for games.
What?
Yep. So it's already creeping. It's already starting. Now, I'm saying allegedly because I can't trust what's out there, right? I can't trust AI. I can't trust what people are putting out there. And I saw this yesterday and I'm like, I need to dig. I need to find more on this, but I'm going to try not to do it as much on this channel and do it on the other channel. I did check my volume. Are we good?
Yeah, I think so.
It dipped a minute because I had to reset. I wish it would just stay. Yeah, it says it's good on my side.
Sounds good on the phone too.
Okay. All right, so right away, let's talk about Aidan, man. Yesterday, news breaks that he gets this deal, and I mean, how fitting. Last year, right around the bye week, I think it was right around the bye week, right? We get a Lee McNeil signed, and then this year in the bye week, we get a Lee McNeil, or we get Aidan Hutchinson signed. Now, I hope that they don't follow in each other's paths. Okay, like Aidan cannot get injured. Period. And that was one of the biggest backlashes I think that I saw on the internet. There was a few people that were commenting, and one on social media, some in some of the older videos, some in the mailbag saying, "I can't believe the Lions just did this." Like, yeah, we got a good deal. It's not a hometown discount. So for anyone thinking that this is a hometown discount, it's not a hometown discount. It's the furthest thing. Excuse me. It's the furthest thing from the truth. A hometown discount would have been $35 million a year. That's a hometown discount.
To me, though, that's as close as you can get to a hometown
No.
discount.
He got the most money. Period. He did. He still got the most money because of the guarantee. The guarantee was the highest guarantee in the league ever, outside of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Right. So for a non-quarterback, $141 million guaranteed is the highest amount of money guaranteed. And so that's not a hometown discount, right? That's just the most. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's the most money, and I don't care, right? I don't care that he took a hometown or didn't take a hometown. I never expected it from the beginning. That's just not. I've said it from the start. That's just not how the league works. It's nice in theory, but unfortunately, they have what's called an agent, and that agent is going to dictate what happens. You know, as much as Aidan wants to say, look, I don't want $45 million a year. I want 35. And the agent's going to go, okay, thank you for letting us know. Hey, Brad, we need $46 million now. That's what they do. And that's how it works. So he's locked up. At least it wasn't 53 or 50. And had it been next year, that's the number. Right? That's the number. And another year from now, had they not got it done this year, that number is over $50 million in 2026. So he didn't reset the number. He didn't get more than Micah Parsons. And no, I don't care. Like, I know that there's a lot of, we get tied to our emotions. Like, well, our players, making less than a Packer. Who cares? Right? Who cares? As long as Aidan ends up becoming a better football player than Parsons, that's all that matters. I don't care about the money. The money doesn't make you, right? The money doesn't define you. It's the play on the field that defines you. And the way that they set this up, I know that there was, some people saying that this was a backloaded deal. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's a middle-loaded deal. Now, there is a backloading, if you will, with a large amount of money at the end, but the core amount of money comes from the middle. And if you look at the contract, it kind of tells you that, and I'll bring it up. But let's get your immediate reaction to yesterday's news while I pull up a couple of things here.
Well, as a fan, the first thing I thought was, man, he didn't go for 50. So that really, really surprised me. I thought for sure it was going to be 50 million. And so did everyone else online. When the news first hit, there was no numbers. We didn't know what the money was for probably 30 or 40 minutes after Adam Schefter announced it. So everyone was speculating online, how much could it be? Is it 5 years? Is it 4 years? Is it 50 million? Is it 55 million? I heard all sorts of crazy numbers out there. And the first thing I thought was, this is great. He's proven himself over 7-8 games. And they're getting it done before it becomes too expensive. And now I was looking just now while you were talking, and I found all the complete details for his contract. It's all out on ESPN now.
Yeah, no, I have it on Spotrac.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah.
And I'll bring it in just a second. But so your immediate reaction is, was it going to be 50 or whatever? Like, I thought the deal was never going to be more than 45. Unless it was next year. And I thought if the Lions paid a penny more than 45, that was going to be a problem. And there's plenty of receipts out there. If you need to go find them, you can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly 45. It's exactly what we thought that he would get. I thought that was the number. the entire time. I mean, I honestly thought that if it was before Myles Garrett, it was probably in that 35 range, kind of like what you were thinking too.
Yeah.
That would have made even more sense for the Lions, but unfortunately, that injury happened. And my only question with this is, the cap line, it does balloon in 2029 before his last couple of seasons. Now, Spotrac says that there's a potential out in 2030, and I don't agree with that. All right, I don't agree with that number, even though Spotracs they're geniuses over there. And the reason why is if you look at 2027, and I'm going to bring this in just a second, the dead cap number in 2027 is only 10.5 million. So until we get full details, like today I think is just the beginning, but until I can really break into this and dig through it and maybe get someone on here that's way smarter than me about contracts, which is a lot of people, then I want to know why there's only a 10.5 million dead cap number in 2027. That's what I want to know. I don't understand how that works. It looks like I got to sign in. So before I bring this up, I gotta sign in again. I love having the premium version to all of this stuff because we get a little bit more info. And it's only like $30 a year. So I'm going to go to 27, and here's what I want to do. I'm going to cut him. I'm going to trade him post-June.
There'd be riots in the street.
Nah. It's not terrible. If you were to cut him post-June in 27, it's not terrible. If you were to do it pre-June, that's way worse because then it all hits. Okay, so let's go to 28. 28 is the year that I see where the real out could be. And that's not terrible either. It's really not. All right, let me get this loaded up. But I would love to know from you guys in the comments right now or in the chat right now and in the comments later, what was your immediate reaction to this? Aidan is going to be in Detroit for the next, through 2030. So when you think about his contract, it really doesn't hit until 2027. And he'll have a cap hit of about $38.7 million in 2027. It's a big number, but when you look at Jared Goff and where his contract hits and Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you look at how all of these are and Aleem McNeil, and you look how they're all starting to work out, what I will say about the hometown discount is this. I do believe that the agents are playing ball with the Lions. That I do believe. And I think that they're playing ball. What I mean by that is that they're allowing these contracts to be structured in a way that fits for the way that the Lions want to structure these big money deals so that you don't get a bunch of money into one season. You're still going to have a bunch of money in one season, but you know what I mean. You're not having the bulk of Aidan, Aleem, St. Brown, and Jared Goff all in 1 year, right? It's portioned, segmented. It's all wrong words. Brain's not working today. They're structured in a way that it spreads it out more evenly to allow these cap hits to hit less frequently and away from each other so that you can afford to do more things. It allows them to be able to sign the rest of their core players that they brought in 2022 is really what it's doing. And in 23. So let me get this brought up.
Yeah. For the average fan, these contracts are so confusing.
Oh, yeah.
The fan just wants to know how much they're getting paid and how we're going to stay under the cap.
Yep. That's about it.
Yeah.
Let me fix this. I don't need to be.
Oh, you got Spotrac up. I got to get that up too.
I need to be. There we go. A bit smaller. I'll bring you over here. Okay. So taking a look at this on the front end, you're going to see. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit and still keep it in frame. Maybe I have to move it a little bit. Oh, come on. I guess it doesn't really get any bigger, so I don't know why it's all off the screen. That's kind of weird. Why is it off the screen? Maybe I just need to do this. Let's try this. Nope, that didn't work either. Okay. Well, now I screwed it all up. Give me 1 sec. Let me fix it.
Looking at this on Spotrac, it says he has a workout bonus of $3,040. That's really gonna make him want to get in there.
Yeah, I don't think we have any issues about Aidan working out, man. You know?
Got to get that $3,000.
Yeah, because that matters. Like $3,000 to them, to these guys is like my change cup in my car.
Yeah, he's gonna wipe his butt with toilet paper that costs more than that. Jesus.
I mean, you know what? I would just probably wear like 4 different pairs of underwear. You know, just gonna shit my underwear and throw it away. You know, I would just forget it. You know, we just put a new pair on. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hey, yeah, hold on. Speaking of this, I gotta go left field, dude. I caught some short yesterday. I don't even know who this dude was, and I'm so sorry that I'm about to say this. This guy was talking to this girl on his podcast, and they were talking about bathroom habits. Yeah. And he was like, "What do you mean you don't catch it?" And she's like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about? You catch your poo?"
Oh, jeez.
He talks about he catches it, and he thought that was normal. Like, and then at the very end, he says, "Well, yeah, I use toilet paper to catch it." And I'm like, "What is going on here? Like, what has happened in America? Like, where are these people coming from? How did you grow up? Because that just sounds, it sounds terrible to me." But anyway, speaking of, I don't even know how we got on that, but whatever. Anyway.
That puts a new meaning to I caught some shit at work yesterday. Caught some shit from my friends.
Oh my God. Dude,
catching shit from Packer fans all the time.
I had to go back. I'm crying now. I had to go back and replay it like 3 times. I'm like, he didn't say that, did he? Like, he's not being serious here. Please tell me he's not.
I learned something new today. I've never heard of that in my life.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Never thought we'd be talking about that today.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about Aidan at the same time. All right, let me try to reset here. So if you look at this deal in 2020, 2027, 28, 29. Oh, I think I already did a trade here. Let me get rid of this.
Oh, man.
All right, there we go. Now it's reset. So this is the actual deal. He's got his same deal happening through the next 2 seasons. Right, in 2025, he's got now cap it at $14 million because of the signing bonus and all that stuff that is going to hit it. And then next year, I'm not sure why that number dipped. I don't know if they restructured it or what they did, but that number should have been closer to, I think, 14 or 15 million for next year. But either way, his new deal doesn't start till 2027. And so when you look at this, you have $76 million that is kind of in the front end. But if you look at 28, 29, that's what, 90 million of it. So it's middle loaded. And that's exactly what I expected it was going to be. I don't care that, you have 50 million in the back end. It's the middle 2 years of this contract that is middle loaded. And I said yesterday that, or the day before, that when this happens, I was expecting that it was going to be a middle loaded deal, because of the way that the other contracts were lining up with Jared Goff and Amon-Ra and Ali McNeil, just going off of memory, how those deals were going to start lining up over the next couple of seasons. Jared Goff is next year. Ali McNeil is next year, right? Amon-Ra, I think, is in 2027 as well. And we can look at all of them at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is a middle-loaded deal just made a ton of sense for the Lions. And then when you go in here and start adjusting things, so if I go into 2028, which that's his third year into his deal, and if I wanted to trade him post June 1st, not saying that this will ever happen, but you're only looking at a cap hit of about $27 million to walk away versus paying him 30, 80, 120. So you've got $120 million going out between 2028, 29, and 2030, and you would pay him up to that date plus an extra 26 or 27. So what is the real, savings? You're saving about $24 million in 2028 alone. And then you're saving all of 29 and all of 30. He gets his guarantee, right? But you have to look at this a little bit deeper to understand that the guarantees, they hit at certain years and in certain increments. Do you have that on ESPN? Is that the part that you pulled up?
Which part?
Where it says when things are guaranteed. What each year there's a little bit different.
Oh, yeah. So it says 29.55 million in 2027.
Well, when does it guarantee?
All guaranteed for injury, 10 million fully guaranteed, with the rest becoming fully guaranteed in March of 2026.
And that's in 2027?
Yeah.
Okay, so March of 2026. Now I forget when the new league year starts. It might be right around that time, or is that in April? Or is that February? No, when is the new league year?
I'm not sure. It's usually March 4th, I think, or March 9th.
I can't remember
around
now.
there. Yeah, it's the first new league day in March. Okay, so it's got a breakdown here. So 45.972 million total in 25-26, all fully guaranteed with 25 million in new money.
What was the date though? So the new league year in 26 is right around March 11. So
Yeah.
this gives the Lions between March 11 and March 26, 2 weeks to figure out what they're going to do, if they're going to keep him or not. Because if that money doesn't guarantee, it's not fully guaranteed yet. That money doesn't fully guarantee until that date. So if you were to move off of him pre-June 1, right, a pre-June 1 trade,
Yeah.
and it's before the March 26 deadline, then that changes the numbers significantly. And
Yeah.
again, this is way more convoluted than I'm ever going to be able to understand or explain. The point is I always say this, their contracts are just fugazis, man. They're fake because the league, the team, they can do so much to avoid pain. And that's why I still would love to get the dude from Spotrac on. I've tried multiple times, but he's a busy dude. And in season, you can forget about it. So at some point, we're going to have to get somebody that really knows these contracts to fully explain how this works. Maybe I'll just take a pot shot and reach out to the Lions executive team and see if someone from contracts would love to explain it to us and give us some information. We'll see if that happens. I doubt it, but we'll see. But keep on going. So when does the next guarantee happen in 28?
Yeah, so looking at this, the way it's breaking down, 25 and 26 over the total of both of them, he gets 45. In 27, it's 29. And then in 28, it's 29. Then in 29, it's 45. And then 42 million in 30 with no guarantees.
I'm trying to find that same article so I can throw it up.
Here, I'll put it up here.
Where are you going to put it?
I'll put it on the sheet.
Where at though?
Let's go right to the top somewhere.
Which headline or which heading?
Here, we'll go in-stream video audio pressers.
Okay. I don't have a chat open yet, so I apologize. I don't know what anyone's saying.
I'll get there in 1 second.
Let me get it open here. All right, so while he's doing that, good morning to
Here we
everybody.
go.
We got John Desage in the house, RDP Phillips, Trace Cruisin, U of M Dad, Derek Lewis, Maureen, Sleepy's World. Who else is in here? Bill Rowland, Nick P. Joe Schmo. Hey, Bill Rowland. Looks like you are a member now. Were you always a member, Bill? Am I dumb? Like, my memory just for crap? Did you just
Trace
join?
gave away one this morning.
So
I need to know something. If maybe you will, or somebody in the chat knows what it is. Nick P wrote, "Is Aidan buying Kirby a track hawk?" And Kirby posted something on social media about Aidan owes him a track hawk now, and I don't know what a track hawk is.
it's a Jeep.
Oh, a Jeep. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. My son just got one.
Oh, really? Are they nice or something?
Yeah. He already got a ticket too. Called me yesterday like, Dad, I need cheaper insurance. And I'm like, well, I can't. You in Florida, man. I can't give you my insurance.
Yeah.
You know, you're in Florida. I can't do anything about it. It's like, my insurance is $500 a month. I'm like, then quit getting tickets. Like, who cares if you're driving a super nice car? You're going to lose it. You're going to lose your license. You know, these 19-year-olds, man, they don't listen.
I like being 50 with no tickets.
Oh, I know. Insurance is so cheap.
My insurance is super cheap for my vehicles.
I love having full coverage. It costs you $86 a month.
Yeah. And I got the $500 deductible. So when I hit a deer, it cost me $500 because it's happened twice now.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't raised your rates yet. That's why I
No,
left.
they can't.
That's why I left.
They can't for hitting deer.
Oh, they did to me at Progressive. That's why I left them. I'm like, so hold on here.
That's what I have.
You know, I have a deer hit me. All right, I didn't hit the deer.
Yeah.
Your deer hit me, and I watched my rate go from exact what the amount of the repair was into my policy the next year.
Oh, man.
It rose by that amount of money. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are full of poo. You know, because I have broad form and everything else. So anyway, let me get this up here. All right. Oh, the heck. Why do these sites? Why are they so different from each other? Like I don't understand.
I don't know. They should all be in the same format.
Well, they're not, and they used to be. Maybe that's why I've got this new update for OBS that I have to get it fixed.
Yeah. So right under that highlighted part, that's where it breaks everything down.
Yeah.
By year.
I was reading through yesterday. I just didn't save it.
I'm amazed these numbers are out already.
Well, I mean, it happens quick. All right. It happens quick. Okay, so this is what I was saying. So for the new year's $180 million in new money, the $15 million signing bonus, that is crazy low to me. Crazy low. I don't understand that. The best way to save money is a big signing bonus. So why did they do a $15 million signing bonus? I would have expected at least 45, 50, you know, right around 25 to 30% of the deal to be in a signing bonus. If you go back and look at Myles Garrett signing bonus or Parsons, let's see. Garrett, he got 21.5, which is low. Parsons signing bonus was $44 million.
Yep.
And that to me is more of the norm, right? That you're getting a quarter or a third or 2/5, somewhere in that range of a signing bonus, because you can spread it out over all those years. And I think what maybe the Lions have agreed to do here, and again, we don't know more of the intricacies of this deal, but I'm just going to throw a guess out here, is that the conversation probably went something like this. Aidan, I forget who his agent is. We're going to have to renegotiate at some point. We're probably going to have to restructure at some point, not renegotiate. And that means that, you know, these big balloons that happen, they're going to turn into signing bonuses. And so they probably have some sort of a agreement within this contract for restructures that they can restructure a certain amount into a signing bonus every season without approval. You know what I'm saying? Like they can just do it. And then that would make a lot of sense, because then you can take that cap hit and spread it out over 4 seasons. So that's why the signing bonus of $15 million doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Why wouldn't you have wanted to spread more, of his deal out over a longer period of time? Well, the only reason why they did it this way means that they probably have something in the works for later. So $28.4 million is the option bonus in March. $55.7 million is fully guaranteed at signing. That's it. So that is the ticket right here. He's only owed today. If they were to cut him tomorrow, and I'm not saying that's happening, he would be owed a $55.7 million check. They gave him a $15 million signing bonus, which means they would be sending him about $40.7 million in a check if he gets cut tomorrow or traded tomorrow. The $45.972 million in total of 25 to 26 is fully guaranteed with $25 million in new money. The $29.55 million in 2027 is all guaranteed for injury only, and $10 million of that is fully guaranteed, with the rest of it becoming fully guaranteed in March of 2026. And so if you read through this, like this contract, one is it's extremely smart. This is not a player benefit contract. This is a franchise benefit contract. Because when you're reading through this, what this tells me, and this is just me reading between the tea leaves. No trust. They have no trust right here. That's what it tells me. They don't have trust, or they're considering trade options at some point. And again, we're just speaking freely. This is what the contract would tell me. Because if you're not guaranteeing everything, but you have 29.5 and 27, right? It's all guaranteed for injury. And $10 million is fully guaranteed only. And then the rest doesn't get fully guaranteed until March. Well, that gives them a window into 27 to say, okay, we only have, this $10 million that's fully guaranteed, this 55 that's fully guaranteed. We're only into this for $65 million by 2027, plus the fully guaranteed money in 2026 of 45.97. So by 2027, he's looking right around $100 million that's fully guaranteed. So this is a franchise friendly, by the way that they have done this, that gives them a lot of outs. There's not just one potential out. There's multiple outs in this deal. $29.55 million in 28, all guaranteed for injury. And then it'll fully vest in March of 2027. All right, the guarantee will fully vest in March of 2027. The 49.55 in 2029, 35.4 of it is guaranteed for injury. 29 million of it will fully vest in March of 2028. Then the 6.428 million vests at full guarantee in March of 2029, and then the 42 million in 2023 or 2030 is no guarantee. All right, you have 2.75 million in a roster bonus. Big deal. The rest of this stuff is pointless. So again, what I see here with not taking a ton of time to study this, just kind of going off of the cuff truly and kind of looking at this, I see a very franchise friendly deal. Not hometown discount type of deal, but this to me means that they're not all in, that they have put some leniency into this deal to give them outs later if they needed it, or trade options later, because a low signing bonus tells me that you could now trade him and then send the majority of all of this deal to the next team. I got to get someone on here that can break this down a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen a deal put together this way. Sorry.
Yeah, the one thing I don't see in this contract is any incentives for getting Defensive Player of the Year or getting to a Super Bowl or winning a playoff game. I don't see any incentives.
Yeah, we won't.
I'm sure they're in there.
Yeah, we won't see that.
But that would be neat to see what the incentives are, because we've seen that with some of the lower end people's contracts, like Marcus Davenport. You know, he gets quite a few accelerators if he could hit a certain amount of games per year and all that stuff. I'd like to see all that stuff in the contract.
I'm sure we'll get some sort of a report, later. And I don't know if any of this stuff is put in on the back end of the NFL media portal. I don't know if I've never looked, honestly. I don't use it enough. But maybe I'll peer at it today and see if it has anything else in it, or if that's a phone call to the Lions to say, hey, what can you tell us about the accelerators, the incentives? I think that would be good information. I think with Marcus Davenport, it came out maybe 4 days later, a week later, something like that. But either way, I'm sure he has some accelerators in there. And I mean, he's on a tear right now. And he could end up getting Defensive Player of the Year this year. He absolutely could. And I hope he does. He deserves it. He's worked his ass off. But anyway, either way, Aidan Hutchinson's a big part of this team moving forward. He's at least locked down through 2030, or the team has options if they want to move in a different direction. This is great news for Detroit. He's a big-time leader in this locker room. He's a big part of this team. And look, he's been playing. Hold on here. Paul just texted me. He's been playing at a pretty good level. And what this says to me, Eric, so let's go to the other side of this. What this says to me is that they're not looking to put somebody on the other side. This just slammed the door shut. Or did it?
You don't think this gives them more room this year to be able to, and next year to be able to try to get someone in at the trade deadline, whether that's a corner or another edge rusher?
Okay, so yesterday and the day before, yesterday, I mentioned this during the live and the video, and the day before, when we were talking about bringing guys in at the trade deadline, it was the money thing. It was not having any money, and the Lions really don't. When you're looking at $25 million this year, 2.5 next year, that's probably changed. And let me see if it's updated. Let's see if it's updated here. Okay, Lions stuff 25.3 according to OTC this year. And according to Spotrac, they have 21.9. And I tend to believe Spotrac is a little bit better. In 2026, they're now reporting that there's 17.8 million in cap space, which they don't even have 51 guys. So I don't know how they have that number in there yet. Let me go to over the cap. In 2026, according to over the cap, the Lions are still at 2.5. So it hasn't adjusted much. But let's talk this out, because yesterday I mentioned that. Does this now give the Lions an option? And that option is, we know what we're into now for Aidan, for Aleem, for Jared, for St. Brown. We have a really good idea of what we're going to be into for Jack. For Jack, I almost said it. Jameer, Laporta, Branch. You have a really good idea of what those numbers are going to be. The agents, they have a really good idea of what the Lions are trying to do to make it all work, right? Could this give the Lions an opportunity to bring somebody in this year? It absolutely could. But the number one rumor that I'm going to dispel right now is Myles Garrett is not coming to Detroit. I'm so sick and tired of people using clickbait and getting the fan base all up in arms over stuff like this. And quite honestly, I don't even know why people go back for more. Like, these trades that get called that never happen, that should tell you something. Like, I'm not ever going to say a trade is happening unless I know for sure it's happening. We can speculate, but at the end of the day, if I went and put Myles Garrett on any thumb and said a trade is happening, what would you say when it doesn't happen? Y'all would hate me, right? I'll have that same energy for other people. Because you don't expect me to do clickbait. It's the people that do the clickbait that drive me nuts.
Yeah. We've been saying all along, the whole entire time, Myles Garrett is never coming to Detroit. We've been saying Max Crosby is never coming to Detroit. It's just not going to happen. listen, there's no way for those big giant contracts to come to Detroit. And I, for one, cannot wait for Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. so all the clickbait drama can be done for the season, at least on the trade rumor aspect. I'm ready for it to be done. And I added something really quick into the Detroit Lions part in there.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw this up here. So this is Max Crosby's deal. Okay, Max Crosby.
Sure.
If you look at his 2025 cap, it's $38 million. Yeah. Okay, so if you're going to bring him in right now, you're going to bring in $16 million to your balance sheet probably right now at least, and then you have 2025 is 35.8, 27 is 29.7. How would so he's signed through 29? How would the Lions be able to fit all of this money into what they already have, going out? There's no way. There's no way. And then if you add Myles Garrett to it, all right, let's look at Myles Garrett.
It's the same thing. And then in 2 months, when players like Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch are eligible to do contracts in 2 months, how are you going to do them?
Right. So here's Myles Garrett. He's locked up through 2030 as well. His is truly backloaded with about $120 million in 29 and 30. And then you have Aidan Hutchinson's deal, which has that large amount of money in the middle and at the end. So if you compare Aidan and Myles together, just going off of memory here, so that was $38 million in 28. So that'd be $69 million just between Myles and Aidan in 28. That would be $115 million in 29, and that would be $120 million in 2030 between two players. Come on, people. Wake the hell up, please. Like, let's be realistic here. We can't be this naive. We can't fall into the trap of believing all this clickbait. And quite honestly, the people doing it should be ashamed of themselves. They're preying on people's hearts and minds, and it makes us all look bad. It really does. But you said you were adding something, but go ahead and finish this thought.
Yeah. If we need something quick, I added something in the Detroit Lions on the bottom.
Okay.
So me as an average fan, before I got on this show, to say I was more gullible is an overstatement. So I would see fake things on
Understatement
Facebook.
or overstatement?
Understatement.
There you go.
Because I would see clickbait stuff and I'd always click on it and I'd always share it, and I never verified stuff. And now from this show and being on here because of Will, I don't do that anymore. I always go and verify stuff with Adam Schefter or Jeremy Reisman or somebody. I go look and see if it's real or not. And if it's just clickbait, I just go on by. And now I can spot the fake AI created clickbait stuff on Facebook so easily. And there's so much of it out there for every single fan base. And there's so many just casual fans that don't realize they're just spreading all this stuff that is not real. So I'm telling you right now, just being on this show has changed me from just being a casual fan into being a much smarter fan.
Yeah. I appreciate that too.
And it's a good thing.
Okay, so Peter, what are you talking about here? Look at the dead cap. What are we talking about?
He meant if you did a trade for Garrett or for Crosby.
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what does the dead cap have to do with anything? The whole contract will go to the new team. Whenever you trade a player, whatever's left on their contract goes to the new team, unless the trading team decides to pay what's available on their deal. If they work something out with the new team and they say, you know what, we're going to cover X amount, just to move the player. Like, they would rather you know, they would rather, okay, so let's do this. I want to manage Miles' contract real quick. We're going to go 2025. It would be a post June 1 trade. Okay. So here's what happens. There is a dead cap amount, right, of 156 million in 25 and 26. 113 million would be saved for a post June 1 release. That doesn't happen right now. I guarantee it. It does not happen. That money that was guaranteed that went out to him has not all been paid because he has escalators in there. Let me go to OTC. Let's see what they say. Where is their trade? Post June 1. Okay, so if you look at the money that would go to the new team, it would look like this. At least 3 million. And this is just post June 1, so this is not in season, right? It doesn't consider the fact of where you are in season. So yeah, it'd be 2.25 million this year, 8.1 next year, 16 million the year after that, 21 million the year after that, 58 million the year after that, another 58 million the year after that, and another 16 million the year after that. So the new team would be bringing in 110, 23, 30, 50, 60, 70, about $170 million. According to what Over the Cap is saying. Because you have to look at the cap savings number, and the cap savings has to go to the new team. So if you add it up, 2.2, we'll just go 2 million, 8 million, that's 10, 16 million is 26, 21 million is 57, 58 million is 115, another 58 million, 165, so that'd be what, 173, and then another 16 million, 189. That's how much would go to the new team. Myles Garrett is owed $241 million right now.
Wow.
So where are the Lions going to fit another $190 million bucks? Make it make sense. Okay?
Good luck.
Just make it make sense.
Oh my God.
It doesn't make sense. I don't care. The dead number does not matter to me. The dead cap does belong to the trading team to a degree, yes. But the thing is, you're in season now. It's not just post June 1 anymore. There's a lot that goes into a trade. They can do whatever they want with those numbers. The trading team doesn't have much of a stance, if you will. It's the incoming team, let's say the Lions, that can negotiate. Both teams can negotiate and say, this is what we'll take on. You got to cover the rest. There's no way the Lions could bring in $190 million bucks. There's just no way. Now, Max Crosby's deal is a lot less, if I'm not mistaken. But again, it's not happening. Like, how many times has Brad said it? Like, I think he said it till he's blue in the face, man. It's not happening. It's just not.
Yeah, and listen, the only one that could even remotely make any sense whatsoever is Hendrickson, because he's on the last year of a deal.
Yes.
It only costs so much, but what are you going to give up for a half a year rental on an edge rusher that you are not going to re-sign?
Here's what I'll do. I'll take some time out today, and I'll actually dig into these contracts. I'll do a comparison, and I'll break it all down, and we'll play what if scenario, and I'll put it in a video, and I'll have it all breaking down. I'll get someone to help me with it to make it make sense. But even looking at Crosby, he has 30 million coming out, or 28, 29 million coming out in 27, 28, and 29 that would be on the new team's payroll. The dead money, a lot of that is the bonus money that was guaranteed and already paid. That's what the dead money is signifying, if that makes sense. So if you've already paid him, let's see, how much was Max Crosby's signing bonus? He had a fully guaranteed amount of 62.5. So there you go. That number is part of that 67 million in year one for Max Crosby. That's the dead cap. So the new money on top of that, the 35 plus another 2 million, that is 26's fully guaranteed salary plus an extra 2 million wherever that came from. But part of that dead cap money for Max Crosby, which is 67.6 this year and 35.1 next year, is inclusive of that fully guaranteed money that was already paid or allocated to the player. Same thing for Myles Garrett. So he was fully guaranteed 88.8 million. So that 88.8 million is going to come off the balance sheet. And when you look at the dead cap money, he has 19 million this year, 15 million next year, 11 million next year, 8 million the next year, and about 5 million the next year. If you were to add all that up, 20, 35, 46, 50, 54, 59, about 59 million of it that has already been fully guaranteed, that would come off of his balance sheet. That could stay with the Browns. But the balance of it is going to the new team. And that's something that I would never see happening for the Lions. But let's get into this here, right here. Oh, where'd it go? Here it is.
Yeah. So the Detroit Lions finally listened to me, and they're giving away an Amon-Ra Selly bobblehead versus the Vikings. But did the Detroit Lions miss an opportunity with this bobblehead? They could have given it away on Thanksgiving versus the Packers, and that would have made for a great little jab at the Packers. I was thinking that all day yesterday when I found out what the bobblehead was. Yeah, I thought that would have been the best time to release it, but hey, they're giving it away this weekend. I'm totally cool with it. And then I just got a text from the Detroit Lions, and it says, Hutch signed a long-term contract with the Detroit Lions, and we're celebrating with $10 off any Aidan Hutchinson home jersey in all 3 stores.
Woohoo. $10 whole dollars.
$10 whole dollars if you buy it at the stadium.
Holy cow, $10 whole dollars. But you know what? I can get 30% off right now on Fanatics or anywhere else. They have at least 30% off, which would be way more than $10.
Yeah.
That's like $60, $50, whatever it is.
You use that code from the Lions that they sent out, and you get 40% off.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? $10 whole dollars.
Oh my God.
I don't think they thought that one through.
You know, they can't make them, I don't know, make it like a $50 jersey or something at the stadium while supplies last.
Yeah, speaking of the stadium, by the way, there is some major clickbait going on Facebook. So
really?
there was a post that said that for any of the how do I use this terminology? Hold on. It was basically saying that if you're poor, I'm just gonna say that if you're poor, you can go to the game for $5.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Okay, I don't know. That's terrible verbiage, but that's basically what it was saying. Is that there was going to be $5 seats this weekend at the game if you meet certain income qualifications or whatever. It is absolutely false, and I hope the Lions have been alerted to it. I lost the link to it.
Yeah, they were, and they totally dismissed it right away.
They put something out.
Yeah, that was like a week or so ago.
Oh, I just saw it yesterday. Here it is. Here, hold on. I think I found it.
Yeah.
Good news. Sheila Ford Hamp announces a $5 ticket day at Ford Field, giving thousands of low-income families to the chance to watch the Detroit Lions live for the very first time. Fans are calling it the most beautiful gesture in team's history. And then, of course, you can click this link, which is probably going to steal all your money. And you can, read the full article about it. And it was shared 2.1 thousand times.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
People who don't have money can lose even more money.
Yeah. Let me put a report
when
in
you
there.
put in your credit card and you're going to lose $5 or $10. Where did it go? I like what Derek Lewis put in here. A celebration would be $200 off of a game ticket.
Yeah, right. Oh,
Yeah.
they got some new hats out again.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I gotta get this one.
So last weekend at the game, I won a $50 gift certificate from the Lions.
What'd you buy me?
For their gift shop. I haven't bought anything with it yet,
Oh,
but I do have something for you. So we got to meet up this weekend,
Yeah, we
before
will.
the game or after the game. I got something.
I am going this weekend. I was not considering it after yesterday's doctor visit, but I got to go to Cleveland anyway. So, by the way, next week, Monday, and possibly Tuesday, we will not be on. Definitely Monday, but possibly Tuesday. Won't be on. I'll be in Cleveland all day Monday.
Yeah, I'm going to be out late Monday.
Partying it up, right?
Actually, we're going to be looking for rocks all day Monday. We're going rock picking during the day and evening after dark rock picking out in the middle of nowhere.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Well, when your buddy comes all the way from Minnesota and he's got one day to do something fun, what are you going to do? You're going to go rock picking.
Only you,
in
Eric.
the cold, in the rain.
Only
yeah,
you.
it's going to be awesome.
Only you.
It's going to be freaking fantastic. I love it. I can't wait to go.
All right, so I've got a rumor for you. Not really a
Sure.
rumor, but I got an idea.
Yeah.
Okay, the Lions need a backup quarterback. Now, there's a name that's been floating around, and it sounds like the Colts are now surfacing in trade conversations or talks, at least, to trade Anthony Richardson. Now, he had surgery. His availability for the remainder of the season is obviously in question, so it wouldn't make any sense. So I just wanted to bring this up simply to say, even if the Colts do trade him somewhere or they're interested in trading him, this is not a Lions deal. Like, if we're looking at a backup quarterback, I would say that we need a backup quarterback that can play this season and not next season. And as far as Anthony Richardson is considered, like, the dude has been so injured. I get it. Like, it's intriguing because of the money and he's on a rookie deal and it would be extremely inexpensive to pick him up. But this is not an answer to our quarterback, backup quarterback issues. Obviously, Jared isn't going anywhere. And I think we're good there, but even if he was healthy, is this a quarterback that do you think that would make any sense for Detroit? Me? No. Eric, what do you think?
No, not at all. We don't need another hooker. So, but what did I say last week? Last week I said that don't be surprised if at the trade deadline Brad Holmes picks up a quarterback, not a cornerback, not a wide receiver, not an edge player, but a quarterback. Don't be surprised if that's what he takes. And it may be from a team you're not thinking, because what do we not have on our practice squad right now? A developmental quarterback. We don't have one right now.
Yeah.
And I could very seriously see one that Brad trades for or gets and puts on the practice squad just to have somebody to be that third emergency quarterback, because we don't have anyone right now.
So the thumbnail today, I need a thumb up or a thumb down because I'm trying to change the thumbnail just a little bit. Even though I like the other one, I'm trying to do something a little bit different just to, I don't know, just to be different, I guess. But what do you think of the newer thumbnail where I'm really not going to put much on the thumbnail itself? It'll just be, above it. So give me the thumbs up, thumb down if you liked it. And whoop.
Listening in.
Yeah, I'm trying to do something. But anyway, let me know. Let me know if you liked it. And here we go. We got to get out some memberships today in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So let's do it. No, I don't want to join my own channel. I think it's so hilarious that they want me to join my own channel.
Yeah.
I don't want to join. I just want to buy some memberships.
Hey, so talking about all this contract stuff.
Yeah.
What would you think if Brad Holmes redoes a contract and offers a new contract to Amik Robertson?
Well, I mean, I've been talking about it. You know, I've done a couple of videos on it, or I did one video on it. I did a nice article on him. Look, he needs a new deal. I'm sorry, but he has completely saved the Lions in a few spots. Last year, Week 18 against the Vikings, completely shut down Justin Jefferson. Week 7 against the Bucks? Completely shut down, Ibuka and Evans. And Tez Johnson. So he's well deserved of a new deal. And I think that Brad would be missing the boat big time. Why does it look so funny on YouTube? Whenever I go to studio mode, it like totally screws up all of my graphics. I don't understand that. But anyway, as I was saying, I think Brad would miss the target big time if he didn't.
Yeah.
Look, I know we got DJ Reed, but DJ Reed hasn't been healthy this year. We have Terrion Arnold, who's, supposed to have a bigger bounce back season here in the second half. Ennis Rakestraw has not figured it out yet. He's been unhealthy, and quite honestly, I don't trust him right now. You need to keep somebody that has been an absolute spark on this team, and he's still young. He still has plenty of years ahead of him. So get him locked up. And in the number that I floated out last week, 3 years, $36 million. I know it sounds like a lot, but when you look at how he's being utilized right now, and you look at the market, he is in the middle of like 16th. He's in the middle of the slot nickel contract value for guys that have played a lot of snaps, equal or more so than what he has played. When you look at outside corner value, he would be like in the bottom 80 of the top 100 or less. So he's well underpaid. I think that the initial deal that the Lions got was a good deal for him. It was a hell of a deal, actually. It was a great deal. But it was one of those deals that said, hey, we appreciate you. Like, of course, we want you to be a Lion. Maybe we need to prove it a little bit yet. And now he's proved it. So he's definitely moved past this prove it, and I think he's earned it. And I don't think that $12 million on Amik Robertson is too much money. And maybe they get him for a little bit less than that. I would think that $12 million a year would be the absolute height of the contract. I'm not saying that he's not worth more. I'm just saying that when you look at how all the other contracts are stacked up right now, corners are still fairly affordable. And how he's playing, which is like a 2-to-1 ratio inside outside, you still pay him as a nickel with high upside being outside corner. Pay the dude. Maybe it's 2 at 24, or maybe it's 2 at 20, maybe it's 3 at 36. Either way, pay the dude. Get him a deal. You can afford it. You just saved a boatload of money on Aidan Hutchinson. Get him done. Because he's a guy that we need around. He's an absolute spark to that locker room. What do you think?
Well, if my memory serves me right, both Amik and Carlton Davis were signed at the same exact time.
Yeah, within a day. Yeah,
within a day. And Amik thought that the deal fell through because they signed Carlton Davis first, and then the Lions came calling and said, "No, we still want you." And when they signed those two corners, I thought for sure that Carlton Davis was going to be the one that stuck around and was going to be the number one, because Amik Robertson, he was kind of an afterthought, right? He was the second man on the totem pole. He wasn't the starter to come in.
He was the number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was our top nickel.
Yeah, because everybody was talking about how he was just a backup, yada yada yada, and now he's a full-fledged starter on this defense, and he locked down Justin Jefferson last year in Week 18 to 19 yards on two catches.
I think it was, yeah, but I think it was 43 overall or something like that.
Yeah, but still, the guy that averages over 100 yards a game and 1+ touchdown a game, and he kept him blanked on the score sheet. Now, do I think we're going to be able to do that on Sunday? Probably not. The Vikings have had time to try to figure out our defense. Now, our defense is going to be a little different this year. We're not going to be man on every single play, and we're not going to blitz on every single play like Aaron Gled did last year. I think that Kelvin Shepard, he's running things his own way. He's using the same system, but he's utilizing the players in different ways and making the system conform to what the offense they're playing against does, instead of just, this is the way we're going to do it, this is the way we're going to do it, this is the way we're going to do it. That drove me nuts with Aaron Glenn. It really, really did. And it's really nice to see that Kelvin Shepard is doing it a little bit different way. And this weekend, I'm wondering if they are going to have Terry on, or if they're going to have Amik follow Justin Jefferson around the field.
I would say it's probably going to be a little bit by committee, but
yeah,
I'm almost willing to bet that it's Amik again.
Yeah, because last time Amik followed him no matter where he was.
Yeah, I'm almost 1,000% positive it's going to be Amik, and the reason why is Terrian just getting back. Well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me. That you would want to put a guy that has not had any, and we don't even know if TA is going to play. We have no idea if he's going to play.
Wow, you just got a $20 super chat.
Hey, there we go. I can't see it yet. One sec.
Okay.
I'm trying to fix the back end before
Paul comes in.
Yeah, I forgot last night. I was tired. So yeah, I mean, I think it's Amik, and I think that's the right move. But I also believe that they're going to have to bracket, and you're going to have to, again, when Rocks Locks comes out in the keys to the game. I think that the two keys right away is bracketing Jefferson, and then also paying a little bit more attention to Hawkinson. But you kind of have to let Hawkinson beat you in this game. Let him do what he has to do. And if you have one guy, you can't let Jones, right? You can't let Jones do anything. So just let Hawk be the guy, and I'm okay with that. We can live to fight another day if a tight end is getting a few yards on us.
Yes.
You know,
a new quarterback, who is their best friend?
It's usually a running back.
It's usually the tight end. You know, that is their guy that's usually open. And when you're playing against the Detroit Lions, historically, the tight end is always open. And that's the one thing that always used to get us, was the tight end across the middle, you know, and that's kind of what got us against the Chiefs, was Kelsey over the middle.
I got to send him an email. Why don't you go ahead and jump into the NFC North report before he gets in here?
Yeah. We can do that. I'll go real quick. So today's NFC North report. We got some good ones in here today. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins in the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins has requested a trade, and the Vikings just might want him back. So I'm going to have to ask Paul about this when we get him on, if he thinks that.
Remember, we only got about 15 minutes with him.
Yep. If he thinks that is an actual thing. All right. And then my second thing for the Vikings today is Adrian Peterson, for the second time, not once, but this is twice now, in 2025, was arrested for a DUI. The first one came in April after a draft party at US Bank Stadium for the 2025 draft for the Minnesota Vikings. And at the time of his arrest, his BAC level was measured at 0.14, and he was above the legal limit of 0.08.
Oh, he was fine.
And then this time he was arrested once again for a DWI. So not good on on Adrian Peterson, but I am glad that in these articles that were written about this, that they referred to him as former Minnesota Viking running back and not former Detroit Lions running back. And then my favorite thing of the day in the NFC North, the Chicago Bears are really bearing down. Literally. The Bears have officially signed safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Yes, CJGJ has signed with his third team of the 2025 season, and he is going to none other than the Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. You caught that?
Yeah.
Oh, my Packers thing disappeared. Well, that's no good.
It wasn't in there before.
Oh yeah, I did one. Yeah, it disappeared somewhere. So that's your NFC North report for today. And I have one more thing here. So I found this last night or this morning, and this is from the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears GM Ryan Poles and the Bears scouting team reportedly laughed aloud during a meeting reviewing Drake May's college game film ahead of the 2024 draft. Quote, they made fun of him. They laughed. The GM laughed Drake May off the screen and cut the tape off. Poles apparently used errant plays from May's footage, missing throws, sacks, and bad angles, and rewound them repeatedly in front of a room to emphasize negative plays rather than analyze objectively. And this is via Newsweek. So pretty surprising that came from a GM in the NFL that would do that.
I'm not surprised, man. It's Chicago.
Yeah, it is. Bear down.
It's Chicago. I mean, it is what it is. We'll be right back here in just a few moments. We're going to bring in Paul Farrington from the Paul Farrington Show and discuss the Vikings and Lions breakdown for about 15, 20 minutes. I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Don't go too far away. You guys love Paul. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Be right
This
back.
is going to be good.
Center, single back is Gibbs. Goff turn, gives it to Jameer, to the end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions. That's the way you make a statement on the road on Monday night to start a football game, straight down the field to the end zone. It is 2nd and goal from the 1. Goff out of the gun, hands it to Montgomery, tries the left side, did not
your mics
get
are still hot.
It's going to be 3rd and goal from inside the 1. They say he did get in. Late call. There it is. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Better late than never. Out of the gun. Jackson's got it. Running to his right. Wants to throw. Now being pressured. Ball's loose on the ground.
Pressured by Hutchinson. He goes down again.
3 seconds, Paul. All right, we're going to bring in Paul Farrington with the Paul Farrington Show. We're going to be discussing the Lions and Vikings here for the next 15 minutes or so. Welcome in, Paul, man. How are you this morning? Hopefully you've got good audio.
Oh, it's going great. I can hear you great. Sorry for coming on and immediately ruining your guys' stream.
No, you're good, brother. You're good, man. I'm just glad you could carve out 15 minutes of your busy lifestyle. So how you been?
Doing great. I mean, other than my football life is kind of miserable, NFL wise. Notre Dame, luckily, is rebounded nicely, but everything's going pretty well. I'm looking for. Somehow, I've convinced myself to actually be excited for this Vikings Lions game. Amazingly, I'm not sure how I continue to do this to myself, but
You got to be excited, man. You're going to get to see JJ for the first time in what, 6-7 weeks?
yeah, I'm glad that at least I'm glad this time it's not a season-ending injury, which is it's kind of unbelievable how long he's actually been on the team now and how little we've seen him play. But yeah, that's exactly why it's sort of this lottery ticket, right? That we're still holding on to, and looking less and less likely like it's going to hit. But if you're not excited for it, then honestly, what are you going to be excited for the rest of the year?
Makes sense, man. I had a little bit of time this morning to kind of listen into your episode that dropped early around 6 in the morning. And, good stuff as always, man. I really love what you guys do over there.
Thank you.
I got some big questions for you, though. Or some, Aidan Hutchinson gets a big deal. Clearly, he's going to be around terrorizing the Vikings for the foreseeable future. And that's where I want to start with this morning. Can you give us a rundown on what's going on with the offensive line for the Vikings? J.J. McCarthy's coming back. At least that's been the rumor, right? He's going to start this weekend. How are they going to be able to protect him? Because that's obviously been an issue, or has been an issue in the past. How are they going to keep him upright?
We're going to have to monitor the situation with some of the injuries. Darisaw and O'Neal right now both have, they have a shot to play this weekend. We're just going to have to see how it progresses over the final couple of days here. Ryan Kelly, our center, who came in and was great from Indianapolis, he's still out dealing with concussion issues. He's on IR. And it's frankly, guys, I know that this is why I said in the episode too. Well, I know we've had the quarterback situation front and center. Everybody sees that, and everyone's paying attention to it. The offensive line injuries have just been catastrophic, and it made life brutal for Carson Wentz. It was making life brutal for J.J. McCarthy. Here are some of the numbers with the left tackle Darisaw, O'Neal, and Kelly in. 1 sack allowed, 13 pressures, 1 QB hit, 3 penalties. With all our backups in, Walter Roos, Justin School, Blake Brandell, Michael Jurgens. I mean, these guys are backups for a reason, so I don't want to come on here and just start, making fun of these dudes. But they've been really, not bad, really bad. 13 sacks compared to the 1, 43 pressures compared to the 13, 7 QB hits compared to the 1, and 10 penalties compared to the 3. It's just a different world we're living in. And it's not one guy out at a time. It's, 2, 3, it's all of them. So if JJ comes back to that, it could be an utter disaster. You guys, Aidan Hutchinson's going to be looking at the depth chart going, are you kidding me? Like, I'm going to have 7 sacks. Myles Garrett at 5. Like, okay, hold my beer. I am really hoping Darisaw and O'Neal are out there because otherwise it'll get bad.
So go back to the pressures. So it was, would you say it's 43 to what?
To 13.
Holy cow. And that's been a matter of just a couple of games?
No, it's been, Kelly's been out now for a while. And Jurgens has come in at center. And I mean, like, you watch the Atlanta game, right? When School was in, McCarthy's running for his life. I would say each guy, trying to remember here, O'Neal has played most of the year. Darisaw's kind of been in and out. And Kelly has been hurt now for, 4 weeks. So it's those guys have played more than the starters. But still, I mean, if you put it on a game-to-game basis, it's not even close.
Yeah, the cohesion's just not there. And like you said, backups are backups for a reason. I guess that makes me feel a little bit better with our backup offensive line situation that we've had to deal with at times throughout the season. Fortunately for us in this game, we should be full go. Taylor Decker's the only one that we really have a major question about. Okay.
But the pass rush hasn't even been, it hasn't been the same this year. And with Van Ginkel out, and
yeah,
the Vikings, their go-to on defense was going to be Dallas Turner taking a step forward. It was going to be Van Ginkel and Grenard on the edges, and we're going to get after the quarterback. They brought in Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave as well to kind of boost that interior pressure.
Big pickups.
Javon Hargrave isn't even playing right now as much. I mean, his snaps have been he's replaced by Jalen Redmond. It's so that those signings haven't really worked out. And everything the Vikings did this offseason was a risk to some degree. You're bringing in D tackles who are over 30 years old. Obviously the major one was the quarterback decision, and just none of them have worked out. And with Turner not taking that step up, with Van Ginkel, who's been out, another guy who's been out most of the year, that's been a huge impact. I mean, he's bigger than I know he was a top 10 defensive player of the year candidate last year, but his absence has completely changed the pass rush. It's just been a nightmare year.
Yeah, so Redmond, I don't know if you can speak to Redmond a little bit, but I know that Dan Campbell highlighted him in the press conference this week, gave him a lot of credit for what he's been doing up front on that defensive line. So what is your takeaway from Redmond? It seems like, I mean, Dan appreciates what he's doing, and it's a player that they've kind of honed in on to make sure they take care of this weekend. So, is there any concern for you, or how do you feel that's working for the Vikings right now?
I mean, I don't have any of his numbers in front of me on the year, but basically, whenever you're watching a Viking game, if there's a big play made on the defensive end, it's going to be Jalen Redmond or Jonathan Grenard. Those are the two guys who have showed up week in and week out. He's been great. He's been all over the field. He's winning in the pass rush. I think he's been decent as well in the run game. But he came out of nowhere. Like, this is someone that going into the season was not. If you had told me heading into the year that we'd have another breakout interior defender, be like, all right, this unit would be unstoppable.
Yeah.
So thank goodness for him, because otherwise, like all the guys I was just listing before, otherwise we'd be in serious trouble. He's just been awesome.
So going up against the Lions' top 5 run game, and on the other side, the top 5 run defense, how is this defense going to be able to? I'm sorry. How are the Vikings' offense going to be able to negate the Lions' defense controlling the run game, which is always first and foremost for us? We like to control the run game. It seems like that's a major focus of us from the outset of snap one. We don't want the Vikings going anywhere. Now, Jones has been back now. This will be his second game.
Yes.
How do you see that progressing? And do you see McCarthy being utilized in the run game a little bit more? Or are there any keys to the game for you that you feel are important between the run game, the screen game with the Vikings that maybe could put them in some plus territory and do some damage this weekend?
I've just been trying to think about how our offense is going to move the ball. And first off, offensive line has to be healthy. I mean, we've established that. If that's not the case, JJ's going to be on his back a lot of the game. I don't know. Everything you say, there's a question mark, because, right? Like, JJ's coming back from a high ankle sprain that took longer than expected to return from. How much do you want to run him? Aaron Jones is also returning from injury. Jordan Mason looked good earlier in the year, but our rushing attack has been a weak point for years now. And everyone wants the Jahmyr Gibbs, but you guys took I don't want to say you took a risk, because we all knew he was really good, but to a lot of people that was a risk, taking a running back in the first round. Growing up watching Adrian Peterson as the sole offensive guy on my team, I've always respected and really valued the running back position. But you gotta go after some of those dudes who can just score every single time they touch the football. And we don't have that in our backfield. So, it's a combination of a bunch of things. How do we want to handle the injuries? Will the offensive line be ready to go? And then also, we just don't have the explosion back there. So it's been a weak point for us all season long, the rushing attack. I'd have to say, if I were Detroit, I'd feel pretty good. And I'm not sure where you look at on this offense and say, like, yeah, that's going to be a problem. Justin Jefferson is a problem. But if JJ can't get him the ball, then we can't do anything about it.
So I guess kind of sticking with JJ McCarthy for a moment, I know that Eric has had a couple of questions surrounding the injury and the usage of JJ or the lack thereof. So I'll kick it to you, Eric. What questions do you have for Paul this morning? Maybe ask him the question about JJ.
So I don't really understand that question, but
No, the question about JJ, and I guess I'll just ask it. So the thing that Eric was talking about last week is JJ not coming back. Was there really an injury in that? Was that week 2 game? Was there really an injury? Was this more of JJ not being ready? I guess speak to the readiness of JJ McCarthy. Do you think he's the future of the Vikings? I guess kind of give us your thoughts on JJ McCarthy and more so not just this game, but the future of the Vikings that obviously has a lot to do with the NFC North.
Yeah. So first off, I think I sounded extremely negative talking about the game. It's just been a kind of a brutal past week as a Viking fan. So
Right.
I genuinely, I'm excited. And if the Vikings were to find some way to upset you guys, then I mean, I'll come on shows next week and be like, all right, season back on. I just don't expect it. The rest of this year to me is all about
It's funny how football does that, right?
Oh yeah. So the instant reactions with football are just wild, and I have to be one of its greatest victims. Someone who's just the highs and the lows week in and week out. But yeah, the rest of this year, the expectations have changed, right? So we came into this season and it was, if JJ, I don't even want to say can elevate past Sam Darnold, because that felt a little out of reach, right? Sam threw for 4,500 yards and 34 touchdowns last year. JJ doing that would have been, I mean, that would have been unbelievable. The Bears have legitimately never done that before. So that would have been great. But now it's, can we get to a point at the end of the year where we're comfortably in position to start JJ next season and continue to build around him? And it's easy to sit back here and just be like, "There's no shot in hell that that happens." But we've only seen him 2 games, right? It'd be crazy to just give up on him. And a lot of people, again, with how instantaneous the reactions are in football, you do want to go, like, you get impatient. And we're sitting here going, "All right, come on, like this guy's been here for 2 years, 2 seasons. Like, what's going on? Why aren't we winning?" O'Connell picked this guy over Darnold, over Daniel Jones, over Aaron Rodgers, who are all having really good seasons. What's going on? And then that was obviously a mistake, right, for this season, taking JJ over those guys who have all been really good, because the Vikings team is built to win now. So that was a mistake, not going in that direction, letting JJ continue to learn behind them. But we made that decision, and uh, at this point, to me, it's we're in it for the long haul with JJ, and the long haul for me is probably up until like next Thanksgiving, and then you have to make a decision. So I'm still holding out judgment because we just haven't seen him yet.
So I guess I'm in the same boat as you. Last week I kind of said the same thing. Like next year is it, because you brought him in hoping that he was going to start as a rookie. Sam Darnold beats him out. That was the right move. I was extremely surprised that they let Daniel Jones go, and it's crazy because the two quarterbacks that have had no type of career, I said both of them I thought were going to have a resurgence. One, Sam Darnold, and then Daniel Jones this year. And my God, he's leading the best team in the league right now with the Colts. Yeah. But how does Kevin O'Connell move off of both of those guys? You could have kept Daniel Jones for under $20 million. McCarthy gets another season to learn. And I think that when you look at the Packers and how they have built their quarterbacks, it's always, waiting in the wings, 2, 3, 4 seasons, whatever it's been. And then that next QB has a 10-year plus career in Packerland, and it works. I was really surprised. So Eric, now I'll go back to you. What was your questions now?
So last year, Kevin O'Connell was voted the coach of the year.
Yeah.
All right. Now, do you think that this year maybe he got a little full of himself? He decided to go with basically a rookie quarterback instead of one of the veterans that they could have kept. And then he leaves Wentz in after Wentz basically broke his shoulder. He tore his labrum and broke the socket in London, and decided to go with him anyway in this last game. And every single throw from the beginning of that game until halftime, I was like, they need to pull Wentz. They need to pull Wentz. They need to get him out of there. They need to put in Brosmer. They need to do something, because this just isn't working. Because I watched that whole Vikings game. Do you think maybe Kevin O'Connell got a little full of himself because he was coach of the year last year, that he thought he could make this basically rookie be the starter? Because all the innuendo and the rumors were last year that JJ won the job coming out of camp and then got hurt.
I'm trying to remember, did JJ win the job, or I thought Darnold?
No, I think Darnold was the clear winner there.
I thought the rumors were that JJ was gonna win it, and then in that preseason game he got hurt.
I think JJ looked fine. I believe the plan was go. This is what most Vikings fans were expecting. Darnold would play a handful of games. Obviously, we didn't think he would turn into what he turned into, and then a few weeks into the year, JJ would take over. So, in that sense, we were all expecting to see McCarthy at some point. But when Sam came on and has that sort of season, JJ wouldn't have played even if he was healthy. As far as Kevin O'Connell goes, he's been great in Minnesota. He's been here, this is his 4th year now, and he's had 13 wins one year and 14 wins in another. So I don't. He has been great. I don't think he got ahead of himself. The big question that I would have for Kevin, and it's exactly what we were just talking about before, is that somewhere right in the stretch of JJ getting hurt last year in August, where he didn't beat out Sam Darnold, somewhere between then and March of this year, where in between that Sam threw for 35 touchdowns, 45 or 34 or 4,500 yards. Rodgers had a strong finish with the Jets last year, and you had Daniel Jones in your building watching him at the end of the season, and you couldn't watch McCarthy play because he was hurt. Somewhere in that stretch, McCarthy, quote unquote, won the job, right? Because that was the decision we made. And I'm just not sure. Like, I really can't speak to it because I don't know what he saw. And that would be the question I'd have for KOC is, yeah, why did you do, like, what changed from August of last year when McCarthy didn't beat out Darnold to, and maybe part of it, guys, might just be this. The Vikings have been looking for the franchise quarterback forever.
Yeah.
And when they drafted McCarthy, they thought he would be that. They still think that he can be that guy. So part of it might have just been hope, which, if that's the case, that's a really big time decision for a coach to make. You're putting a lot on the line, putting all your faith in someone who you haven't seen play for a full year when all the guys that are the other options have been playing well. And two of them are on the team, legitimately on the team.
It's interesting.
That's what I've been wondering is what changed. And then, was the decision just, hey, look at all these teams who win the Super Bowl, right? I know Mahomes is great, right? Brady's great, but these are all franchise quarterbacks, usually year in and year out, who are the most competitive teams. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. You guys got Goff, right? Goff is not an old dude. Like, you guys got Goff for the long run here.
I'm wondering if it was a little bit of pressure, Paul. Like, maybe there was some pressure because he was an early first-round draft pick where some analysts had him out of the first round, and then you heard Dan Campbell the other day say that they thought that he was going to go early, and so there's a big mixed bag there. And I'm wondering if there was just too much pressure for KLC to, like, we got to get this guy in the field because we drafted him in the first round, and we do want a franchise quarterback, and maybe they believe that he's a first round, or a franchise quarterback, and they had to see it. Anyway,
the price tag for Darnold kept going, or the price tag for Darnold, right, turned into 35 million.
That still was cheap for a guy doing what he's doing.
Yeah, with Darnold, you're signing up a little longer term. I really couldn't get the Rodgers one because Daniel Jones, you don't bring him back, but no one saw this coming, right? Like, no one saw DJ hadn't been like this at all. So I get it. You could have been counting. You can't really count on the breakout, but Rodgers to me was a perfect fit. Like, I thought Rodgers needed to go somewhere with not a place where Rodgers could elevate the team, so to say, but where the team could actually elevate Rodgers. And then that would, in some weird way, that would then make Rodgers elevate the team more. Kind of like a rising tide lifts all boats. I thought that could have been the situation in Minnesota. Very clearly, that's a 1 year, maybe 2-year thing. And it lines up well with JJ continuing to recover. You stay competitive. And look, if Rodgers bombs, then you start JJ mid-year when he's healthy again. I thought that situation would have been great. And I really do think if Aaron Rodgers was on the Vikings right now, they'd obviously, you need the injuries to work your way, but I think it'd be a good year.
Oh, it'd be night and day, I think. So I know you're tight on time today. The biggest questions I have really surround the game, and if you want to just kind of give us your breakdown of how you feel this game will go, maybe some final predictions.
Oh, have I not made that clear?
Well, no, I mean, you have. I mean, I think we all understand we expect the Lions to win this game. The question is, Justin Jefferson, is this another Amik Robertson, Justin Jefferson showdown? I'm expecting that. Is he going to be able to lock him down? JJ McCarthy in Ford Field, back home in Michigan. This is a big game. Is it a raucous crowd? I mean, we are super loud. He's not going to be able to hear. I'll just be honest. I see this totally spinning out of control for the Vikings because of all of that. Like, I see JJ just doing this, like, holy shit. I'm back. Like, he's not going to expect what's about to happen in Detroit. And then you got Aidan and that whole storyline of Aidan and JJ and Michigan. And yeah, Aidan's going to put him on his back at least once. Especially after signing this big deal, he has to perform.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure. Absolutely.
Two of them, actually, real quick. Are you guys Michigan fans?
I'm not. No.
Like, I didn't know if you guys were JJ McCarthy fans. You know, pre NFL.
I watch quite a bit of his film, and I always watch Michigan games if they're on, but I don't go out of my way, and I don't go to Michigan games. One of my goals is to get to a Michigan game one of these times.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's
never been to the big house.
So grew up a Michigan fan, and the tide turned for me. I was about 13, I think. My sister went to Michigan State. I went to siblings weekend, and it was right around that time. I want to say it was Mike Hart. It was where he came out with the little brother comment and all that. But Michigan kept stabbing me in the back because they kept losing in all the big games. And I was young and impressionable, and I was like, okay, you know what? Sister's going to State. I went there at 13, had the time of my life, and so I started watching State and just kind of love that underdog story. So I've always just been a fan of Michigan State, but
I was gonna say,
I'm a rooter of Michigan. Let's put it that way. Whenever they are not playing State and they're whenever they're playing OSU, they have to win. I like to see all Michigan teams do well, but there's only one game a year that I don't.
I was gonna say young and impressionable. I mean, yeah, Detroit. Like, man, you hung in there with you guys have hung in there with the Lions.
So I gotta give that to my grandpa, man. I mean, when I was 4 years old, going to my first Lions game, and I'm on the field, and you got Billy Sims and other guys that I don't remember any of this. There's pictures that told the story. And then going to tailgates at a young age. I mean, 60 plus years of season tickets in the family, 27 for me, over 40 for my dad. I mean, it's. Yeah. You don't want to give up, right? And I think that it's the family ties, it's the memories that kept me there. And now it's paying off. So
I get it, man. Like, this is not, you're not talking to a Packer fan here. I understand.
Yeah. I just want to sniff a Super Bowl.
We did. Almost.
No, I want to actually make it, whether we win or not. I just want to make one.
Oh, I haven't seen a Super Bowl either. I mean, we've had a couple really close calls, and you guys have two at this point, right? I mean, San Fran, you should have won. But
yeah.
The other question that I had, though, like the real question I had, we know of, or at least I think if the Vikings were to get blown out in this game, it's going to be you guys destroying our line. The other side of the ball, you guys control the lines. That's what the Lions do. If the Vikings were to have success in this game, right, what would it be? Like, how would that look? Where would be the concerning points with the Lions for you guys? Is it that secondary?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, with Terry and Arnold coming back, potentially, we don't know if he's going to start. We don't even know if he's going to play yet. I'm not as concerned with the secondary, especially after the last game, but this is a different Vikings offense. We're not going up against a banged up Evans. We're not going up against a rookie and banged up Ibuka. We're going up against Addison's healthy still, right? And we're going up against Justin Jefferson. So, and TJ Hawkinson. So it's a much different situation. So yeah, spot on. It's the secondary that is going to be the most difficult part of this game for us, but I have faith in the way that they've been performing. So Brian Branch is coming back, and that was probably my biggest statement of the whole day. This dude's coming back. Brian Branch is coming back pissed off, and he's going to be ready to roll.
Is Kirby back too?
Kirby's still up in the air. He didn't practice yesterday, I believe, but he should be in. I mean, a lot of this is going to be rest. We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Is there any other spot that I could find some semblance of hope here other than the secondary?
Honestly, everybody else is good, man. AQM on the other side, he didn't practice, but the word on the
I don't mean injury. I mean, is there any other when I say damn, I don't mean like, man, I wish this whole Lions team got hurt again. I mean, like, man, you guys are you're good everywhere.
The depth is what's scary, and I think that's what fans don't appreciate is. A lot of fans want all these high-priced, the shiny new object type of toy, on the outside of Aidan or somewhere else. But when you look at our depth, I mean, Paul, you know football pretty well. Have you ever seen a team do what the Lions have been able to do with the depth that we have and how we've been able to win games? And we're pulling guys off the street now and winning games. And it's crazy that they're able to do that.
Yeah, that's another thing that you guys do. Even with, I don't know. Sometimes these guys aren't even as talented as they're looking on the field. I mean, what you've done, the people use the word culture a lot with the Lions,
Mhm.
and I think it actually gets overused a bit. But maybe it doesn't, because when you see the way these guys come on the field and I mean, they fight every single play. There's never going to be a week where you come out and you're not ready to go. Like, we have those weeks, right? We just had that in LA where, again, a lot of backups in, but you're watching and going, like, where's the fire? Like, why does this team feel so flat? The Packers this year, how many times have they come out in games where they're supposed to just kick ass and they look flat?
Mhm.
It's not, the Bears are playing against the backups for the Huntley last week. They can't get the job done. There's never a week when you're watching the Lions and you sit back and just go, man, they don't really have it tonight. Like it doesn't look like they're with it. Even when they lose, right? They're usually in it right until the end. Uh, they've just been awesome for a long time now, and it's a real testament to what Holmes and Campbell have built. So that's it's unbelievable, frankly, what you guys are doing when you have these guys. I can't imagine if the Vikings had third stringers coming in, what would happen to our secondary. And last week, you guys, if you had just put someone in front of the TV all week and said, "What's the best secondary in football?" Someone would be like, "Oh, probably that Lions team. They look pretty good." It's crazy. It really is unbelievable. Now it's just a matter of you guys being able to stay healthy throughout the year, and well, it's all leading up to that Thanksgiving game. To me, that's going to be
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
For me, Paul, it's doing this without JMO too. Like, we have done this without one of our, Ferraris there on the outside. He has not really been involved the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's really strange. I had been hearing so much about it. Everyone was hearing a lot about how he had expanded his route tree. He was looking
Yep.
great in training camp, and
Oh, he looked amazing.
it was supposed to be he was supposed to be a real problem. I just remember I kept thinking to myself, if this guy's actually gonna take the leap that we're projecting here, how do you stop these guys?
Yeah.
And that definitely has to be at least a bit of a disappointment. Otherwise, you guys are having a great year. But you're still kind of holding on to that hope, right? Like, if he breaks out by midseason, right around now, that's it's going to be a problem.
I hate to say this. I think it's Sunday. So I think Sunday is JMO Day, honestly.
No,
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that is because Dan Campbell, he had meetings, throughout the bye week, and he addressed, a few things with everybody. He had spoke to the press and said, look, there's some things that we have to address, and there's some things that we're not doing on third and manageable, but it's also making sure that we're getting guys involved, right? We're calling the right plays, and he wasn't going to call out John Morton or anybody independently, but I kind of gathered from that conversation that we're not utilizing our key players enough in key situations, and that has to change immediately. And I'm expecting JMO to come out and have a really good game. I'm hoping the last couple of weeks has given him time to reflect and John Morton time to reflect. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to have a good game too, only because he's got this. Well, not only because, but he's got his bobblehead dropping on Sunday, and I think he's probably gonna do that celebration again at some point. He'll be in the end zone. So again, I know you're rough on time. What is your final predictions for the game if you have one? And then for me, it's Hutchinson. I think in this game for the Vikings, it really has to have a good game if you guys have a chance. If Hutchinson can have a good game, I think that will give the Lions defense enough problem to where they're already having to manage Addison and Jefferson. If Hawk can come alive, that changes the game for me. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. If you want to give us your final spiel on the game, that'd be great.
Yeah, TJ's had a rough year so far. He's also coming back from injury, so it would be great to get him going. I'm trying to find the path where the Vikings win this one, and if I'm going to be honest, so I'll come on your show, right, and be honest. I think you guys are going to win this one, and as you said before, it could get ugly. I'll go with something like 31-13, maybe. Like it's 31-16. I mean, how do we? I don't know how we're going to stop you guys. You watch Thursday Night Football. Chargers scored on basically every possession. And the other side of it, it's just we got to see we got to get the line healthy. If the line's not healthy, you guys might win like 41-0, and who knows what happens. Probably not. I'm exaggerating a little, but one thing though, guys, you guys having Jahmyr Gibbs really is just so like. Please enjoy that. Please enjoy that,
Right?
because to me, that's the difference in you guys being a really good football team and I should say offense, but a really good offense and a like, oh, you're scared to death of this offense. Same way when Saquon last year joined with Philly. When you have that explosive running back and you add him to an already established and already efficient offense, it takes everything to a different level. He's, to me, outside of Goff, where you need the quarterback, of course, he's the secret sauce. You get that kind of a guy on the roster, and it genuinely terrifies you. So I think he's going to have a really big game. Vidal just went off the Chargers had 207 yards against us. So I think I think Jahmyr is going to have his way on the ground, Montgomery too, and I expect you guys to win pretty dominantly.
I know Eric had one more question for you. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah. I might have to predict a 50 burger against the Bears.
Okay. All right. Let's chill. Let's chill out here. I mean,
the way you're going, man, I might have to predict a 50 burger. I said might.
I get that. I get it's not going well, but if we lose, like in my life, you know what? I was just gonna say in my life, I can't remember. We just lost 40-7. I guess last week. The Vikings and Lions have had pretty competitive games lately.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So when I did my preseason predictions, I predicted 35-27 for the Lions over the Vikings. But I have what
even be I want to win, but if we come out and score 27 points, I'm gonna view that as a win.
That would give you some hope for JJ McCarthy, you know.
I mean, if we're being realistic here, you take the wins where you can get them, and if JJ comes out and puts up 35 points on you guys, that's encouraging, right? That's a lot better than what we've seen in weeks 1 and 2, where it's one quarter out of 8 that have been good. So I don't know if I'd sign up for it, but if you said this is the situation, I'd go, okay, like I can find a way to spin that.
Is it okay if he puts it up in garbage time though?
No.
He can score all he wants at garbage time. We like to do that.
Like 35-7, and then we'll score all our points.
Yeah, because like the Detroit defense, they love to go prevent my least favorite defense in the world for the whole fourth quarter. So I could easily see it then. But I had one really quick question before you go, and it's about the quarterback situation in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins has officially declared he is asking to be traded. What do you think about that as a Minnesota Viking fan?
Well, I don't blame him. He's behind Penix there. I haven't to be frank, I didn't watch the Atlanta game this weekend.
He was horrible.
When there's other games on the TV that the Dolphins up by 30 doesn't get my attention, but I need to go back and watch it because I know everyone's saying he was horrible. I saw someone come out and was like, actually, he wasn't quite as bad as everyone thinks. Like with
170 yards and 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, I want to go back and watch because I was not really sure what this guy was saying, but he made it sound like Kirk was making the right reads. It was just a lot of guys being off on routes and stuff, which
it's first game back.
Yeah, that can take you so far. At some point, you got to make the throw. So I would like to go back and watch that. My initial reaction was like, okay, yeah, I'm happy Kirk wants to start somewhere, but does anyone like who?
Do you think it's Minnesota? Do you think he wants to come back?
That's what I want to know.
I know he wants to come back to Minnesota. Everyone knows he wants to come back to Minnesota. He said that 1,000 times. If I knew that they were going to draft Penix, I would have just stayed with the Vikings. I would have stayed with KOC.
Yeah.
Now would the Vikings have stayed with him? Probably, but
I guess on the back side of that. On the backside of that, Paul, should they have ever let him go?
Yeah, no. I think they made the right decision with Kirk.
Okay,
and that's what we did with JJ and Darnold last year was kind of the Kirk decision all over again. Just Sam wasn't coming off of an Achilles injury at 34 years old, 35 years old.
Yeah, that's rough.
Coming off an MVP caliber season. Kirk at the price point that they were going to have to pay. I don't think any Viking fan especially with the way Darnold worked out. I don't think any Viking fan looked back on that saying we made a mistake there. And if we did, I'm not sure how the cap would work with getting Kirk now. Like if we were to make the hypothetical world of the Vikings going after him, but it would also be he wants to start, and if Kirk came in, like we have to play JJ. we have to see what we have with this guy, and so that next season we can finally either commit to it or move on. Like bringing Kirk in now, if we were 5-2 or something like that, and the team looked really competitive, and Wentz went down, and O'Connell didn't think JJ was ready. Now we could have a different conversation about finding a new quarterback. But we're 3-4, and it's all roads lead to McCarthy starting. So I have if we went after Kirk, it would to me be purely as a backup.
Okay. Anything else, Eric?
Yeah, I just have one favor to ask of your Minnesota Vikings.
Sure.
And you have to do it twice.
Oh.
Can you please get healthy for 2 weeks of the season and kick the crap out of the Packers for me, please?
Yeah, nothing would make me happier. We're actually going, our whole cast and crew, we're going to Packers Vikings in a couple weeks in Lambeau.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Nice.
I went to the opener against the against the Packers, and it was horrible.
Oh yeah, no, not a good one. It's first
we were 40%, like Lions fans were 40% of the crowd. We were just as loud as the Packer fans at the stadium, and we just had nothing to cheer for all day.
No, you guys are amazing at how you travel. So yeah, I'll do the best I can by getting out there, and I'll be wearing purple. I'm in the sea of green and gold, but yeah, I'll do the best that I can. I'll try and relay the message to the team. Nothing would make me. If it's the last week of the year and we're playing Green Bay, it's like, all right, we get a top 5 pick. then there could be a world where I'm like, like I'm not going to root for the Packers, but if they win, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world.
Are you spending Christmas at Viking Stadium or no?
Nah. I'll be I will be at home watching.
I'm gonna guess that tickets are gonna be pretty cheap to that game.
It might be
because it's on Christmas. There's no way I could go. My wife would divorce me. That'd be it. I'm done.
Yeah, I've always been a if the other games are on Christmas, we're gonna have them on for sure. I wasn't actually happy when I saw the Vikings on Christmas Day though.
Me either.
There shouldn't be any games on Christmas, man.
I'm with you. I was like, I don't want to. It's going to be. I think we're the 1 o'clock game.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
Let the NBA have Christmas. Let them have it.
Well, like it makes that much money. It's hard to turn away. But yeah, I was not thrilled to see the Christmas game. And if we're like 4-12 at that time, I'm just gonna be like, all right, we'll have it on in the background, and I'll be watching here and there. But yeah, I like to keep Christmas, but I guess this isn't the platform for that.
Right. Well, Paul, man, it's always a pleasure to get you on, and thank you. You stayed in a lot longer than I know you had time for.
No, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It's great.
We'd love to follow up. Obviously, see what happens next week. See how the game goes. Maybe before Christmas we could redo this whole thing and get you guys in if they have time. But always a pleasure, man. Love the success. Love your channel. Everyone, Paul Farrington Show. Please find him on YouTube. They do more than just Vikings. You guys tell everyone where they can find you and what you cover.
Yeah, so you can find us at the Paul Farrington Show. We're primarily on YouTube, but you can find us anywhere where you get your podcasts. Social handles are mostly at Farrington Show, but if you type in Paul Farrington Show, it should pop up across all socials. And yeah, we're Vikings fans, but part of our draw is that we're the miserable Viking fans who talk about how great the Lions are, how great the Packers are, and we try and keep it honest. So we're most of our fan base is actually non-Vikings fans. We have a ton of Packer fans, and we're starting to get some Lions guys trickling in. So yeah, after the game, I don't know if we'll be live this week, but yeah, after the game we'll have a reaction out, and hoping it's a good one, but not really expecting it. So
it might be a loss, but it's always a good reaction. You guys do a great job. You talk more than just Vikings. I mean, you guys are talking all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's therapeutic. It's nice to come on and commiserate with some fans or some other fans of the team legitimately. So
well, Paul with the Paul Farrington Show, man, appreciate you. Go have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, man. Thursday night game on tonight, and we'll catch you hopefully next week if you got time. Otherwise, we'll be chatting, and we'll see you later on through the season, man. Good luck.
Thank you. Sounds like a plan. Good luck to you guys as well.
All right, brother. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, be right back here in 17 seconds.
Pressured by Hutchinson. He goes down again.
All right, that was Paul with the Paul Farrington Show, and he's always a good guest, man.
Yeah.
You had an opportunity to meet him at the draft. Him and his team for the first time had an opportunity to meet him in person. We didn't get a ton of time to chat, but it was still good to actually meet someone in person. He's not expecting anything close this weekend, so. I'm not surprised. Look, they're beat up, man, and I'm glad to hear that he kind of has some of the same sentiment about JJ McCarthy. Like it's kind of like it's time to shit or get off the pot kind of deal.
Yeah.
Next year is it. It's the same thing that I was thinking. He moved it up to Thanksgiving. I thought they'd give him a whole year next year to kind of figure it out, but then KOC, I think that he made bad move by not keeping Daniel Jones. Like, because if you had Daniel Jones right now, while he was out, they're winning ball games. And they're winning a lot of ball games. And they're making it a nightmare for the NFC North right now if he was still there.
And then they might have a really big decision at quarterback when JJ got healthy.
You could have saw a trade at the trade deadline. You could have saw a contract go to Daniel Jones and you know, maybe get a pick back. Who knows, man? But that's what the NFL is all about. It's what have you done for me lately? And you know, the not for long NFL. You know, I wanted to ask him about some of the the conspiracy stuff, but I'll have to save that. I'll just text him. I want to get in with him and talk about some of the stuff that's going on with the NFL, like that big news that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
the apparent. You had wrote something down, I thought, in the.
You know what? I had something on the Packers, and I had a link, and I had everything on there. I don't know what happened to it, but I remembered what it was. So the Packers are wearing against the Carolina Panthers this weekend. They are wearing their throwback uniforms with the brown helmets.
Mm-hmm.
And Romeo Dobbs' helmet, the Guardian cap, is the ugliest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. And I had great pictures of it and everything, and I couldn't get to it.
It might. I could have deleted it when I had to fix everything last night.
Yeah,
it's quite possible I deleted it. So my bad. But I could have sworn you wrote something in one of these today about Pablo Torre.
Yeah,
right. That's right here. It's still there. That's what you're talking about, or no?
No.
It was former tight end involved in hosting the poker game.
Yeah,
or was that from yesterday?
That was from yesterday.
Okay, let me delete that. Okay. Well, I thought that was new, but maybe not.
Yeah, no, I went over that yesterday. And anyway, I do have to get running. I forgot. Had to be off around 10 today for something going on here. I got people coming today.
All right, buddy. You have a good rest of your day, man. We'll see you tomorrow.
I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll give you guys our predictions. We'll let you know what's going on in this game. Just might be a 50 burger. You never know.
We'll see.
See you guys tomorrow.
All right, buddy. We'll see you. All right, so one of the last things I wanted to get to today was Rich Eisen. He had, obviously his reaction. I wanted to do it earlier, but kind of got off in a tangent on a few other things. But I wanted to get into Rich Eisen's breakdown of Aidan Hutchinson and the Detroit Lions. Tonight, we will do Gripes and Hype. I will go back and bring in all of the other messages that came in through the mailbag. There's a couple of good ones from a week ago and 2 weeks ago that I missed. So I'll be bringing those in tonight. We'll have plenty of questions. If you'd like to send in more, it's mailbag@rockdown.com. You'll also be able to call in live. When the show opens, you got to give me 15 minutes, and then the phone lines will be open. And then when the show is rolling, if you see the logo that will flash above my head that says this, call now, then phone lines will be open. And so I'll just have to make sure that I remember to turn it on. I always forget. Next week, we're going to get back into true or false. I've got to figure out a name, so I need your help. We're going to go through, I mean, part of it's trade deadline, right? And getting into the true or false. I will have a couple of videos that I'm going to do between today and tomorrow, wrapping up all the trade deadline stuff, all the trade rumors. And I'm just waiting on one person to message me back on a possible trade for the Lions. And as soon as I get that back today, I'm hoping to get the video out tonight before Gripes and Hype. But there is a rumor, and I'm not going to speak to it now. I'm going to wait till I get the information to see if that rumor is valid or not valid. But either way, I want to get into Rich Eisen right now and wrap up what he had to say about Aidan Hutchinson. All right, here we go. Oh, it's off. Come on. Let me fix it real quick. Be right back.
Some NFL news to get to. It's very rare to see a big, fat contract signing announced in between weeks 8 and 9 of an NFL season. Usually, if it's not done before week 1, it gets tabled for the rest of the season, but not in the case of the Lions and Aidan Hutchinson. Aidan Hutchinson, who at this very point last year was overcoming an injury that maybe Cam Scadaboo is going to have to overcome. I'm not a doctor. I don't see any x-rays or MRI, and I wasn't in the operating room with Cam Scadaboo in Philadelphia, although Big Dom might have been. Do you think did Big Dom scrub up for that one?
Wouldn't shock me. Big Dom can do anything.
Did you see, though, that he did stop by and give Scadaboo some Philadelphia goodies?
Yeah, pizzas and cheesesteaks.
I love that.
Love it.
But at any rate, at this point last year, we're wondering when Aidan Hutchinson is going to come back, if at all, from a horrifying injury to his leg. And now, 1 year later, the Lions are 5-2, coming off of a bye, getting ready for the Minnesota Vikings at home. And Aidan Hutchinson has a new 4-year deal worth $181 million. Did I get that number right here? It just happened, but just before we came on the air here on our program.
Yeah, I think 180 and
180.
Yeah, 141.
Right, 141 is the guaranteed dollars.
Guaranteed.
A 4-year contract extension.
Yeah.
And all Aidan Hutchinson has done is just be awesome since coming off of the campus at Michigan. Obviously, I'm biased when it comes to him. He is a game changer. He was absolutely the first guy in Harbaugh's program to plant the flag and say it changes now. And he has been nothing but terrific for the Detroit Lions when healthy. Drafted 2nd overall. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars let him go to the Detroit Lions, and choosing Javon Walker instead out of Georgia. And what he is an absolutely perfect avatar on the field for what Dan Campbell wants. Grit, determination, and unstoppable. He plays like he's coming for your kneecap after taking a bite of X, Y, and Z, right? And the Lions, as you can see, are spending. He is now the 4th guy on the team to have a 9-figure deal. Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jared Goff are the others. And also, the way that he has been balling out this year, you got to also be, I don't know if amazed or surprised is the proper word. It might be a little bit of an exaggeration. you know how negotiations go. I mean, at some point, they're a little bit spinning sideways. And it's just like if you've ever been fortunate enough to buy a house or a car, you think the deal's going to fall through. It's going to be over. Like at least once, twice, 3 times in those deals, it looks like it's not happening. And he was able to just, nobody knew this was going on. I mean, I'm sure the insiders in Detroit might have known, or only the people inside the building.
Yeah, this kind of popped up out of nowhere today.
It's just very rare for it to happen. And just the latest example, I'm sorry to do it, but I have to do it. Anytime somebody at this position signs for the amount of money like this, and again, the guaranteed dollars are significant. I think about where Myles Garrett is today. You know, on his bye week with his team absolutely adrift. On their bye week at 2-6, coming off of a 5-sack game of New England's revelatory Drake May, sitting by himself at the end of the bench in New England with a team record that doesn't matter to him. You know, he's getting ready to put his tombstones on the front lawn. And, you know, one of those tombstones I'm sure that won't be out there was "Here lies the 2025 Cleveland Browns," because their season is particularly
cooked,
adrift. I'll be nice about it.
A better way of saying that, yes.
And there's 2 guys now at this position, game changers, who Myles Garrett could sit here and say, I'm better than them, and I have been better than them for a very long time, longer than they've been in the league. You could stack both of them on top of each other in terms of the length of their careers, and it's, you know, the length of mine that I have been dominating since I came out of Texas A&M first overall for Cleveland, and they're now making more money than me, and they're 100% in the mix for the Super Bowl, and I am not. And I had my finger on the eject button, and I didn't press it. I stayed in Cleveland. And I'm just wondering what he's thinking wherever he is right now.
He's probably at, Turks and Caicos on the beach.
No, I understand. And his life is great. He's set up forever. His descendants are set up forever. And he's also, regardless of if he does ever leave Cleveland, he's going to finish in Ohio.
Yeah,
no doubt.
You know,
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
with a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's going to be one of those Hall of Famers who show up as a 50, 60-year-old man, knock on wood, who looks like he can still give you some snaps, and that gold jacket is going to fit him perfectly.
Him and Mel Blount.
Yeah, Micah Parsons and
Aaron
Aidan
Donald when
Hutchinson.
he's there too.
93 and a half career sacks combined. Myles Garrett, 112.5.
Yeah, I mean,
that goes
we're
without
not
saying.
even talking about his resume or in terms of being endowed here. It's just
we'd like to see him get a different type of ring.
Sure,
you know,
and I'm sure he does too. And he had it set up, and for whatever reason, he decided not to do it. He might actually like it living in his house in Ohio, and he didn't want to leave it really, and he just wanted the bag. Well, he got the bag. But so now does Micah and Hutchinson. And on Thanksgiving Day, they're going to be on the same field in Detroit with the division and seeding for the conference on the line. And this is what I think of whenever I see these guys hit it like that. So congratulations to Hutchinson and the Lions for getting it done. And also to J.J. McCarthy, you're back. And there's a fellow Wolverine on the other side who's going to make your day long if he has anything to say about it on Sunday. Hey, you made it.
All right, that was Rich Eisen. Kind of giving us his 2 cents here about the trades, or I'm sorry, about the big contract. And that's the one thing that I wanted to kind of sum up a little bit. I've always said that, contracts during the season just don't happen. And if it doesn't happen before week 1, they usually don't happen at all. And if they don't happen in June, and then they don't happen before week 1, they definitely don't happen at all. And for whatever reason, Brad has done this now 2 seasons in a row where Lee McNeil got done around the bye week last year. Same thing with Aidan, got done with the bye week this year. but I've been definitive in my approach with Aidan Hutchinson's deal that it was expected. It just would not happen until he could prove that he was back. And that I always felt it would take several weeks of playing this season to show that he's back before the Detroit Lions were going to offer him an extension. And that's exactly what happened. So it's not about being right. It's about understanding the game, right? It's about understanding the team and understanding the nuances of how things operate within the NFL. That for whatever reason, I mean, a lot of people have a lot of ideas, right? We have a lot of opinions. But when it comes to actually understanding how, the game is played or how these teams, operate at a different level, I don't think that there's a whole lot of conversation elsewhere that you're going to get that can actually give you really good, solid information, because we try to do the work, right? We try to put the time in to make the right calls, to talk to the right people and put the information out there. So I'm only saying that to say that if you want real information, you're going to find it here. If you want clickbait, if you want hopium, it's just not what we do. So I'm not surprised that this has happened with Aidan during the season. It's just rare, like what Rich Eisen just said, but it's well deserved. And Aidan's going to be here for a long time. Like I said, tonight, I'm gonna this afternoon, if I get some time, I'm gonna try to break everything down, compare the contracts, and see exactly where the outs are. I'm gonna reach out to Spotrac and my contact at OTC and see if I can get some help from them on exactly what we're reading, if they even have all of the full details just yet. Spotrac has some information, but what are the full details? And that's what I'm looking for, is how can we break this down to see what kind of deal this really is? Because on the surface of it, when you look at it, it does not look like a player-friendly deal. The money is, but the way that it seems like it's structured is more franchise-friendly. That doesn't mean it's a team-friendly deal by the player. It just means that the franchise is protecting themselves and making sure that they have outs in place, number one, they have trade options in place, number two, and number three, that they're also taking care of their player, first and foremost, to pay him commensurate to what the league is now paying these types of players. But the most important thing is ensuring that they have options. And I think they did a really good job, again, from the surface of it. I haven't dug into it. It is so fresh. I mean, we're not even 24 hours. I hung up the morning show yesterday, and not even 30, 40 minutes later, we're getting right back into, big news changing. So I think it'll be interesting to see what others think about this deal when I can get someone to help me break it down. Let's see here. Super Bowl Wilson says players get signed during the season all the time. Yeah, no, that's not very factual. They don't get extensions during the season all the time. Not the big ones. Not the big ones. That is extreme. I mean, you just heard it from Rich Eisen. I don't even have to tell you that. You just heard it from Rich. Trust Rich, don't trust me then. Rich just told you. It does not happen. It is extremely rare, especially big money. I'll throw that into the video too. I'll break down all of the big money deals that have gone on during the season, and we'll see how many there are compared to the rest of the extensions that have gone on throughout that year. And I'm just going to throw a number at it. I'm going to say probably less than 10% of all extensions are done during season. And I'll say probably less than 5% are big money deals. This is a big money deal, right? These are game-changing type of contracts. They're not just your everyday, you're getting a 1-year extension for, $10 million or something. Like, that's not a needle mover. You will see players restructure their contract at times, but it's also kind of rare. And that happens typically during the trade deadline when a team is trying to make a move, you'll see a restructure happen, but those are also very rare. That's a lot like the big money deals. And the restructures are kind of rare because that is not usually a team friendly move, meaning they have like some sort of penalties and stuff like that that could be involved in the contract, or escalators for the team that they would have to pay more money or guarantee more money if a restructure was done. So it's an interesting conversation, but I'll make sure to outline that too so that we could understand what exactly is happening. Final thing here in Lions news. So Brian Branch made a couple of comments during this week. Most importantly, he said that, he's sorry, right? He apologizes to everybody, but he's also making sure that he understands where his head needs to be. And he made a promise that, a lot of what's going on right now is obviously motivation because of what the league did with that NFL Films video. But more importantly, he's got a big chip on his shoulder now because of that. And he apologized for what he did. And he said, quote, "I do want to apologize for what I did. That's something I don't condone and never will happen again. But the suspension definitely added another chip to my shoulder." So his promise is to not play with, quote, emotions. He's not going to play too emotional. And I think that that's important. But at the same time, I don't want to see Brian change one bit. Don't want to see him change anything that he's done. He needs to stay in the game, and he needs to stay, I like the emotions. I just think that there becomes a time where you just have to turn your back and walk the other way. You can't do the fighting. You can't, have, penalties that are going to cost your team 15 yards, because now that's what the league is going to key in on. They are going to use Brian as an example like they have been. And in these big moments, these big games, he has to know it's time to turn around. And I'm not saying that this needs to happen. I'm not saying that Brian's not a man, that he can't handle himself, because he can. But would you ever think that maybe a coach would go to somebody and say, let's say it's a secondary, one of the members of the secondary, and say, "Hey, Amik, I need you to kind of follow Brian a little bit. If you're near him and you see that something's about to go down, just go over there and get in the middle of it and walk away, pull Brian out of it, kind of follow him a little bit. If you know what I'm saying? Like, not to be a distraction, but just to make sure it doesn't go beyond what it needs to be to try to reduce some of these penalties." And again, I'm not saying it's needed, but that thought did cross my mind. Like, would a team ever do that? Would they ever, try to get another player to, quote unquote, not really babysit, but just to be that guy that is, the separator, if you will, to kind of keep things cool and calm and collected, so it doesn't get into a position of where you lose 15 yards and you potentially lose a game, because that's what's going to happen. Is you're going to end up losing a game when the NFL is targeting you, watching your every moment. Because if you don't think that they are, I guarantee you that New York, my opinion, I guarantee you that New York and the replay assist and all that stuff, anything that they can utilize to penalize a player, or call something against Brian, they're probably focused in on it now. You probably have someone watching him all the time, because they want to make sure that he's not going to get away with anything. And if this whole thing pissed off the NFL because of our reaction to what they did, it could be that way. I don't know. Maybe it's just the tinfoil Thursday, I guess. But kind of weird. Anyways, just a thought. Yeah, Paul Daniel, I love his emotion too, man. He just needs to harness it a little bit. There was another big fight that happened, and I can't remember the game, but I'll go back and look at the weekend. There was another big fight that happened, and I don't remember anyone getting suspended. Now, I didn't see any clear punches thrown. I just don't remember which teams it was. I didn't see any punches thrown, so that may be the reason why nobody was suspended. But I feel like the Lions don't get the I don't think they ever get the benefit of the doubt. it seems like we get it all. Like there's no clear line of separation. When one team does something, it seems like it's not the same rules for another team, and that's also part of this whole conversation of rigging or fixing or whatever. That the NFL is doing one thing for this team and not the same thing for another team. But all right, I'm gonna get out of here, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Again, Gripes and Hype will be tonight. Phone lines will be open. Keys to the Game should be out early this week because I can't put it out Sunday because I'll be there on Sunday, and maybe on Saturday morning we'll kind of do a little pregame or something. We'll see how I feel. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow and then later on through the day. Mailbag at rockdown.com. Get your questions in, any content that you want done, and we'll do our best to try to get it done. All right, take care. Go on, probably go Detroit Lions. We'll see you in the next one.
Pressured by Hutchinson, he goes down.